I looked at her, hesitating. She was pale and turned her head towards the window. I felt there was no need to offend her. At the end of the day, she was to be my companion for a month. I replied, "Yes, sir." She blushed, and I felt so happy. A sublimely stunning dinner was served at the restaurant on the train. The most exquisite French dishes, with pink champagne. On arriving at the hotel, the receptionist handed the register visits book for her to sign. She quickly passed it on to me, watching my writing. Once that page was filled, who would ever look over this book? I wrote, "The Duke and Duchess of Rosavere." June the 21st. Basel, 6 a.m. We are departing for Bern. There is no doubt of my being in luck. June the 21st, 10 p.m. This has been a strange day. I actually feel excited. How ridiculous. On reaching Bern, we went out to walk around this beautiful city, just like newlyweds. June the 24th, Loesch, 10 p.m. The whole trip was delightful. We spent half a day at Thun, gazing at the rough outline of the mountains we were to cross the next day. At sunrise, we crossed the lake, probably the most beautiful lake in Switzerland. Mules awaited us. We mounted them and started. During the trip, we spoke very little. She had to get up so early that she felt tired and dozed a little while. Giselle, exhausted, was trying hard to keep her eyes open. Finally, she fell asleep, and I supported her with one arm, happy to do so, pleased to feel her so close to me. Night came, and we still were climbing up. We stopped before the door of a little inn buried in the mountain. We slept. Oh, how well we slept that night. At daybreak, I ran to the window and couldn't help screaming with joy. Giselle, lying next to me, was speechless and delighted. We had slept, surrounded by the snows. All over us, enormous hills whose grey tones showed through the mantle of snow. Hills without pines, mournful and icy, rose so high that they seemed so inaccessible. Giselle, lost in thought, gazed without saying a word. Suddenly, she took my hand and pressed it. I myself experienced that special fever, that enthusiasm which takes hold of one at unexpected sights. I took her little trembling hand and carried it to my lips, and I kissed it with affection, I believe. I was quite upset. But by whom? By her? Or by the glaciers? An hour after starting again, we perceived at the bottom of this funnel of stone and snow a dark, gloomy lake, so peaceful, without a single wave, which we followed for some time. A guide brought us a few edelweiss, the pale flowers of the glaciers. Giselle put them in her buttonhole. Suddenly, the pass opened before us, gradually revealing the horizon. The whole chain of the Piedmontese Alps beyond the valley of the Rhone. There were some white spots far away that looked like sheep in a field. They were the houses of Loesch. Giselle leaned on me, crying out with joy and fear, happy and fearful, like a child. Once, when we were a few feet behind the guides and hidden by rock, she kissed me. I kissed her back. I had thought that when we reached Loesch, I would let everyone understand that she was not my wife. However, everywhere, and so far I had treated her as such, she had passed off for the Duchess of Rosavere. I couldn't really now treat her differently. What would be the point at this stage? And also, she would only feel hurt. And truly, she was charming. So I spoke to her. My dear friend, I am supposed to be your husband. As the Duchess of Rosavere, I expect you'll behave with great discretion. Don't make any acquaintances. Don't talk and make friends with anyone. Better let them think you proud than have me regret what I have done. She answered, Don't be afraid, my lord. June 26th. Loesch is not dull by any means. It is wild, but very beautiful. That wall of granite, 6,000 feet high, from which flow 100 streams like ribbons of silver, that constant murmur, running water. This village, buried in the Alps, where one looks up to see the sun crossing the heavens. The neighbouring glacier, so white in the distance. This valley overflowing with streams, full of trees, of freshness, of life, flowing down toward the Rhone and showing on the horizon the snowy tops of the Piedmont. All this enchants and captivates me. I wonder if Giselle were not here.